They laughed at her at every family gathering. They whispered behind her back at every event. They made her feel invisible, unworthy, forgettable. Then one evening, the most powerful and feared man in the entire city walked directly toward her, ignoring every other woman in the room, and said the words nobody expected. "She's the one I came here for. Stay till the end, because this story is about to prove everyone wrong." The elegant ballroom buzzed with quiet conversation as wealthy families gathered for another important social event, an annual charity gala known for bringing together the city's most influential business families. Among the guests, Grace Bennett stood quietly near the edge of the room, watching everyone else mingle confidently while she remained largely unnoticed. Exactly as she had grown accustomed to throughout her entire life, Grace came from a respected, wealthy family, but within her own family circle, she had always been treated as the disappointing daughter, constantly compared unfavorably to her slimmer, more socially confident cousins. Her aunts made subtle, hurtful comments about her weight during family dinners. Her cousins openly excluded her from social gatherings, and her own mother often sighed disappointedly whenever discussing Grace's future prospects for marriage within their prestigious social circle. "Look at her standing there alone again," Grace's cousin Amanda whispered to another cousin nearby, clearly intending for Grace to overhear. "It's honestly a bit embarrassing, isn't it?" Grace forced herself to remain composed, years of practice allowing her to hide the hurt these constant comments caused her. She had long ago stopped expecting kindness or acceptance from her own family, instead focusing quietly on her genuine passions, particularly her successful career managing charitable foundations that helped underprivileged children throughout the city. Despite her family's constant criticism, Grace possessed a sharp intelligence, genuine kindness, and quiet confidence that few people around her ever took the time to truly notice or appreciate. Tonight, she attended the gala primarily to support the charitable cause the event promoted, having personally organized much of the evening's fundraising efforts. As Grace quietly observed the elegant crowd, a sudden hush fell over the room as Damien Cross, one of the most powerful and feared men within the city's business and criminal underworld, entered confidently through the grand entrance. Every guest immediately straightened, subtly adjusting their conversations. Clearly aware of Damien's significant influence and dangerous reputation, Damien moved through the crowded room with calm, commanding authority, briefly exchanging polite greetings with various influential guests who eagerly sought his attention and approval. However, his sharp eyes soon drifted away from the crowd, scanning the room until they settled directly upon Grace, standing quietly near the edge of the ballroom. To everyone's genuine shock, Damien walked directly past several eager, socially prominent women clearly hoping for his attention, moving purposefully toward Grace instead. The room fell into stunned silence, curious whispers immediately spreading among guests, uncertain exactly why the powerful, feared businessman would choose to approach someone so consistently overlooked within her own family's social circle. "Grace Bennett," Damien said warmly, extending his hand politely. "I've heard remarkable things about your charitable work." Grace blinked in genuine surprise, momentarily speechless by his unexpected attention. "Mr. Cross, thank you. I wasn't expecting anyone to notice my work tonight. I make it my business to notice genuine talent and dedication," Damien replied sincerely, his tone carrying unmistakable respect and admiration. "Your foundation has significantly improved conditions for hundreds of underprivileged children throughout this city. That's far more impressive than anything else happening in this room tonight." Nearby, Grace's family watched in stunned disbelief, clearly astonished by Damien's unexpected interest in someone they had long dismissed and undervalued. Amanda's earlier confident smirk faltered instantly, replaced by genuine confusion and unease. "I had no idea you were familiar with my work," Grace said honestly, still processing her surprise at his genuine admiration. "I make it a priority to understand exactly who contributes meaningfully to this city," Damien explained calmly. "You've quietly accomplished more good than most people in this room ever will." As their conversation continued, genuine warmth and mutual respect gradually developing between them, Grace's family watched nervously from a cautious distance, clearly uncertain how to process this unexpected turn of events, one that directly challenged everything they had previously believed about Grace's worth and social standing. Eventually, as their conversation deepened naturally, Damien looked directly at Grace, his expression sincere and thoughtful. "I'd like to properly get to know you, Grace, beyond tonight's brief introduction. Would you be willing to have dinner with me sometime soon?" Grace hesitated slightly, genuine surprise and cautious hope evident in her expression. "Mr. Cross, are you certain? I'm not exactly who most people expect you to be interested in." Damien smiled gently, genuine sincerity evident in his calm, confident tone. "I'm interested in exactly who you are, Grace. Not who others expect you to be." As Grace considered his genuine, unexpected invitation, her family watched anxiously nearby, completely unaware that this unexpected encounter was about to challenge everything they had ever believed about Grace's true worth, setting into motion events that would soon reshape both their family dynamics and Grace's entire future. News of Damien Cross's unexpected attention toward Grace spread quickly throughout their social circle, leaving Grace's family in a state of confused disbelief. Her mother, Eleanor, who had spent years subtly criticizing Grace's appearance and prospects, suddenly found herself awkwardly reconsidering her daughter's worth in front of their entire social community. "Grace, dear," Eleanor said carefully during a family dinner following the charity gala, her tone noticeably softer than usual. "You never mentioned you knew Mr. Cross personally." "I didn't. Until last night," Grace replied honestly, still slightly amused by her family's sudden shift in attitude toward her. Amanda, clearly uncomfortable with the unexpected turn of events, forced an awkward smile. "That's wonderful, Grace. He seemed very interested in your charity work." Grace studied her family's suddenly respectful, careful behavior, quietly recognizing the shallow nature of their newfound interest, driven entirely by Damien's powerful reputation rather than genuine appreciation for who she truly was. Meanwhile, Damien found himself increasingly drawn toward Grace's genuine warmth, intelligence, and quiet strength, qualities he rarely encountered within his usual guarded, calculated world. Their first dinner together, held quietly at a private, elegant restaurant, revealed a comfortable, genuine connection neither had fully anticipated. "You've clearly dedicated your entire life to helping others," Damien observed thoughtfully during their dinner. "What inspired you to focus so completely on charitable work?" Grace smiled softly, appreciating his genuine curiosity. "Growing up, I often felt overlooked and undervalued within my own family. I wanted to ensure other children never felt quite so alone or unworthy." Damien studied her carefully, genuine admiration reflected clearly in his expression. "Your family failed to recognize something truly remarkable in you, Grace." Grace blushed slightly, unaccustomed to such sincere, direct compliments. "Thank you, Damien. That means more to me than you realize." As their relationship steadily deepened over the following weeks, meeting regularly for quiet dinners and thoughtful conversations, Grace found herself genuinely falling for Damien's calm confidence, sincere respect, and unexpected gentleness, qualities strikingly different from his fearsome reputation throughout the city. However, not everyone within Damien's dangerous world viewed this unconventional relationship positively. Damien's closest advisor, a calculating man named Victor Lang, grew increasingly concerned about the potential vulnerabilities this genuine, unguarded relationship might create. "Sir," Victor cautioned privately, "your reputation relies heavily on maintaining strict control and calculated decisions. This relationship, however genuine, could create unnecessary risks." "Grace isn't a risk, Victor," Damien replied firmly. "She's exactly the kind of genuine connection I've been missing in my life." Victor remained skeptical, though he wisely chose not to press the issue further, understanding clearly Damien's firm determination regarding this unexpected relationship. Meanwhile, Grace's family, initially motivated purely by Damien's powerful reputation, gradually began recognizing genuine qualities within Grace they had previously overlooked entirely. Eleanor, in particular, found herself increasingly ashamed of her past treatment toward her daughter, especially as she witnessed Grace's confidence and happiness steadily growing under Damien's genuine admiration and support. "Grace," Eleanor said hesitantly one afternoon, approaching her daughter cautiously, "I owe you a genuine apology. I've treated you unfairly for years, comparing you unfavorably to your cousins, failing to appreciate your true qualities." Grace studied her mother carefully, surprised by her unexpected sincerity. "Why the sudden change, mother?" Eleanor sighed softly, genuine regret evident in her expression. "Watching Damien's genuine admiration for you has forced me to confront my own shortcomings as a mother." "I'm truly sorry, Grace." Grace considered her mother's apology carefully, cautious optimism mixing with lingering hurt from years of unfair treatment. "I appreciate you saying that, mother. It means a lot, even if it's difficult to fully trust right away." as Grace's family slowly began repairing their strained relationship. Damien continued strengthening his genuine connection with Grace, gradually introducing her more deeply into his complicated, dangerous world, carefully shielding her from unnecessary risks while ensuring she understood clearly the reality of his powerful position. One evening, as Damien and Grace enjoyed a quiet dinner together, Victor unexpectedly interrupted, his expression tense and urgent. "Sir, I apologize for interrupting, but we have a serious situation. It appears a rival organization has recently discovered your relationship with Grace, and they're already discussing ways to potentially use this connection against you." Damien's expression shifted instantly into serious concern, his eyes meeting Grace's worried gaze across the table. "How serious is this threat, Victor?" "Serious enough, sir," Victor replied gravely, "that we need to take immediate precautions to ensure Grace's safety." Grace felt a sudden chill of fear settle within her, quickly realizing that her unexpected happiness with Damien had inadvertently placed her directly into a dangerous, unfamiliar world she had never anticipated navigating. Damien's expression hardened instantly as Victor explained the growing threat more thoroughly. "The rival organization is led by a man named Roman Kessler. He's been searching for weaknesses within your operations for months, and now that he knows about Grace, he sees an opportunity to strike directly at you. What exactly does he want?" Damien asked firmly, his protective instincts immediately overriding his earlier calm evening with Grace. "Control over your shipping routes near the harbor," Victor explained. "He believes threatening Grace will force you into compliance." Grace listened anxiously, fear steadily rising within her, as she began fully understanding the serious danger her relationship with Damien had unexpectedly created. "Damien, what happens now?" Damien reached across the table, gently taking her hand, his expression softening with genuine reassurance despite the serious situation. "I won't let anything happen to you, Grace. I promise you that." Over the following days, Damien significantly increased security around Grace, assigning trusted bodyguards to accompany her during her charitable work and daily activities. Grace, though understandably anxious about the sudden danger surrounding her life, remained determined not to allow fear to control her, continuing her important charitable efforts despite the added security measures. Meanwhile, Roman Kessler grew increasingly impatient, frustrated by Damien's swift, effective security precautions that made directly targeting Grace considerably more difficult than he had initially anticipated. Determined to force Damien's hand, Roman devised a bold, dangerous plan of his own. One afternoon, while Grace visited a children's charity event she had personally organized, Roman's men carefully monitored the venue, waiting patiently for an opportunity to strike despite Damien's heightened security precautions. As Grace mingled warmly with children and volunteers, unaware of the danger quietly surrounding the event, one of Damien's bodyguards noticed suspicious activity near the venue's rear entrance, quickly alerting his colleagues to the potential threat. "We have unfamiliar vehicles parked near the back entrance," the bodyguard reported urgently through his earpiece. "This could be trouble." Damien, receiving the alert immediately, rushed swiftly toward the charity event, fear and urgency propelling him forward as he coordinated closely with his security team to ensure Grace's safety. Inside the venue, Roman's men attempted a discreet approach, hoping to quietly abduct Grace without alerting nearby guests or security. However, Damien's well-trained bodyguards quickly intercepted them, engaging in a brief, controlled confrontation that successfully prevented Roman's men from reaching Grace. Grace, alerted to the sudden commotion nearby, quickly moved to safety, guided carefully by her assigned bodyguards as Damien's security team efficiently neutralized the immediate threat. Damien arrived moments later, relief flooding through him instantly upon seeing Grace safe and unharmed. "Are you all right?" he asked urgently, quickly pulling her into a protective embrace. "I'm okay," Grace reassured him, though her voice trembled slightly from the frightening ordeal. "Thanks to your men." Damien held her closely, his expression darkening with renewed determination. "This ends now. Roman has crossed a line by directly targeting you," as Roman's men were quickly apprehended, providing valuable information regarding their employer's location and future plans. Damien recognized clearly that decisive action was now necessary to permanently eliminate the danger threatening Grace's safety. "Gather every available resource," Damien instructed his security team firmly. "We're ending this threat completely tonight." Grace, though frightened by the escalating danger, found herself increasingly impressed by Damien's calm, decisive leadership. Understanding clearly the serious risks he willingly faced to ensure her continued safety and happiness. As Damien prepared to confront Roman directly, determined to permanently eliminate the danger surrounding their relationship. Neither he nor Grace fully realized yet just how significantly tonight's confrontation would test the strength and resilience of their unexpected, genuine connection. That same night, Damien organized his most trusted men, carefully planning a decisive operation to permanently neutralize the threat Roman Kessler posed to Grace's safety. Using the information gathered from Roman's captured men, Damien's team quickly identified Roman's primary location, a secluded warehouse near the city's harbor district. Before departing, Damien visited Grace one final time, finding her anxiously waiting within his heavily secured estate. "I need you to stay here, safe, while I handle this," Damien said gently, though firm determination remained evident in his voice. "Please be careful," Grace urged, worrying clearly evident in her expression. "I don't want to lose you, Damien." "You won't," Damien reassured her confidently, gently cupping her face in his hands. "I promise you, I'll return, and this danger will finally be over." As Damien departed with his security team, Grace remained anxiously within the estate, silently praying for his safe return. Understanding clearly just how deeply she had come to care for him despite the danger surrounding their relationship, Damien's forces arrived quietly near Roman's warehouse, carefully positioning themselves strategically around the building's perimeter. Damien himself moved cautiously toward the entrance, his expression calm yet fiercely determined, fully prepared to end this dangerous conflict decisively. Inside the warehouse, Roman anxiously awaited news of his failed attempt to capture Grace, growing increasingly frustrated and desperate as he realized his carefully calculated plan had completely unraveled. Suddenly, Damien's forces breached the warehouse entrance, quickly overwhelming Roman's surprised guards before they could properly react. Gunfire briefly echoed through the building as Damien's well-trained security team swiftly gained control, catching Roman's men entirely off guard. Roman, realizing quickly that his dangerous plan had failed completely, attempted a desperate escape, though Damien intercepted him directly, blocking his path with calm, controlled authority. "This ends now, Roman," Damien said firmly, his voice carrying unmistakable, dangerous finality. Roman, cornered and desperate, raised his weapon nervously, though his hands trembled visibly beneath his forced bravado. "Stay back, Damien," or before Roman could finish his threat, Damien swiftly disarmed him, years of controlled discipline guiding his precise, calculated movements. Roman stumbled backward, quickly subdued by Damien's men, his dangerous scheme completely dismantled. With Roman finally apprehended and his organization dismantled entirely, Damien ensured swift, appropriate consequences for his dangerous actions, permanently eliminating the threat that had endangered Grace's safety and happiness. Damien returned to his estate shortly after dawn, exhausted but relieved, finding Grace anxiously waiting exactly where he had left her. The moment she saw him safely return, relief and genuine happiness flooded through her instantly. "It's over," Damien reassured her gently, pulling her into a warm, comforting embrace. "Roman's threat has been completely neutralized. You're safe now, Grace." Grace held him closely, tears of relief and happiness filling her eyes. "Thank you, Damien, for protecting me, for genuinely caring about me despite everything. You mean everything to me, Grace," Damien replied sincerely, gently cupping her face. "I've never felt this way about anyone before." In the weeks following Roman's defeat, life gradually settled into a genuine, peaceful normalcy. Grace's relationship with her family continued healing steadily, her mother and cousins genuinely embracing the confident, remarkable woman they had previously overlooked and undervalued. Damien, meanwhile, found himself increasingly committed to Grace, appreciating deeply her genuine kindness, quiet strength, and unwavering resilience, qualities that had ultimately proven far more valuable to him than any superficial standard others had once used to judge her worth. One evening, several months after their story had first begun, Damien invited Grace to another charitable gala, this time held specifically to celebrate the continued success of her foundation's remarkable achievements throughout the city. As Grace confidently addressed the crowd, sharing her genuine passion and dedication toward helping underprivileged children, Damien watched proudly from nearby, admiration and love evident clearly in his expression. Following her heartfelt speech, Damien approached her gently, kneeling down before the entire crowd. Genuine sincerity reflected clearly in his eyes. "Grace Bennett," Damien said softly, opening a small velvet box to reveal a beautiful ring. "From the very first moment I saw you, I recognized something remarkable. Something the rest of the world had foolishly overlooked. Will you marry me?" Grace's eyes filled with joyful tears, overwhelming happiness evident in her genuine smile. "Yes, Damien. Absolutely, yes," as the crowd erupted into warm, enthusiastic applause, genuinely moved by their remarkable love story. Grace and Damien embraced joyfully, both fully understanding that true worth was never about meeting others' shallow expectations, but about genuine kindness, resilience, and authentic connection, qualities that had ultimately brought them exactly where they were always meant to be.